Welcome to Northern Italy, ladies and gentlemen. I am currently in the Alps, and today I want to take the occasion to talk to you guys about Hedera Hashgraph Hbar. In my opinion, one of the most exciting projects to ever grace the cryptocurrency space. And I want to break this video into two parts. The latter half of the video, I really want to talk about just why Hedera Hashgraph is such an exciting project, more fundamentally about what it's trying to do, and why I ultimately believe it is going to succeed and become one of the stars to come out of this industry and fundamentally change many industries that we all interact with today. But to start the video off, I want to talk about the pressing matter of price. I'm seeing a lot of disgruntlement when it comes to Hedera Hashgraph. We can start maybe by talking about TPS. Hedera Hashgraph has always boasted in regards to having one of the highest TPSs currently being ran through any distributed ledger in the cryptocurrency space. In fact, at one point, we saw thousands of transactions per second going through Hedera Hashgraph. That, of course, was by Atma.io. That since seems to have stopped. So we can derive that from the fact that we're not seeing that TPS go through anymore. In fact, Hedera Hashgraph, I think as of today, around about 2-3 transactions per second. It's not zero. Sometimes it goes higher. Sometimes it goes a little bit lower. There is action on the chain, but that kind of explosion in regards to action for Hedera Hashgraph is still very much in the pipelines. And you can see that in regards to all the proof of concepts or in regards to all the institutions that are currently actively looking to build and integrate Hedera Hashgraph in regards to their own digital transformation. So I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure, and I'm waiting for word out of the horse's mouth in regards to the Hbar Foundation, in regards to what's actually happening with Atma, what the story is there, why we're not seeing the sort of volume that we've seen run through the distributed ledger, Hedera, by Atma, why we're not seeing that anymore, I don't know. It does seem like perhaps that has came to an end. I do believe they were subsidized transactions, so there was a kind of incentive for Atma to actually use Hedera. Ultimately, that does seem to have stopped. But do not fear, guys, because Allincrypto is here. And towards the latter half of the video, we will be telling you why we think that this is just part of the journey. It's a small blip, a speed bump, if you will, in what is a broader journey. And I do think Hedera is going to start to get up to that sort of miles per hour that we all expect it to do, and ultimately, you know, see a lot of usage and utility from some of these other institutions, whether it's Mondelez, one of the largest kind of confectionery companies in the world behind Oreo, etc., or whether it's something financial. We had a recent announcement, and we'll save that towards the end of the video, in regards to the Nairobi Securities Exchange. I think it's the 4th or 5th largest exchange in Africa. It's certainly the largest exchange within Kenya, which has been called the Silicon Sahara. It's the tech capital of Africa, the continent of Africa. So we will cover that in more detail towards the end of the video. But where I want to start is in regards to price. The TPS thing, I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. There obviously has been, and it's visual for all to see, a real drop in TPS. And I think that comes from Atma and likely a discontinuation of what they were doing. There's been nothing from the Hbar Foundation. Personally, I think they need to come out and say something. They will know, ultimately someone will know what's going on. The onus is on them to come out and address it. And there's been cries all over Twitter for that to be the case. No one, we know the Hbar Bull gave his take. It was a great take. As always, go and give Brandon a follow, by the way, guys. One of our favorite guys in the whole of the cryptocurrency space. And of course, Hedera. But the Hbar Foundation, or someone that's familiar with the matter and that will know the behind the scenes information, it could be that it's being worked out as we speak, needs to come out and testify to that. But one use case does not a swallow make. One swallow does not a summer make. One use case isn't going to make or break Hedera. And Hedera has its fingers in many, many pies. And again, we'll talk about that towards the latter half of the video. Let's talk about price action. What is going to drive the price of Hedera Hashgraph? It's not Bitcoin. A lot of the altcoins out there are almost suffering from an identity crisis because Bitcoin's value proposition is a far different one than 99.9% of the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin is a distributed ledger that was made to essentially be originally an alternative currency, an e-currency system. It's now adopted the role of essentially being a short dollar trade, a short currency trade, a hedge against inflation and an alternative store of value. And that's the value proposition of Bitcoin. We have BlackRock delivering seminars where they're ultimately showing a picture, which is insane, by the way, that we're even here as an industry, of the devaluation of the dollar in relation to Bitcoin. And they're now promoting it. The largest asset manager in the world is now promoting it to a broader audience for that fact alone. Larry Fink said it's a global currency, a global store of value that can essentially rise above the others because of its unique properties. The altcoin market is not that. They have a very different value proposition. And what is that value proposition, you may ask? Well, it's that they can transform in the exact same manner industry in the same way that we saw the internet do so. So why don't we send letters anymore as a preferred method of communication? Well, it's because we have email, we have messaging services, and they are instant and global. Blockchains are doing the exact same thing in regards to not just the financial industry, but many industries out there. And the value of these blockchains in the long run is going to be derived from that actually taking place. Those applications being built and the usage actually coming. And Hedera is positioned, in my opinion, to capture a lot of those uses because it's simply fit for purpose as a distributed ledger. The vast majority of other ledgers out there are not fit for purpose. And ultimately, this is going to generate revenue. Hedera Hbar, the token, does many things. One of those things is it's used to essentially pay fees. And ultimately, once we see hundreds of thousands, I believe, of transactions running through Hedera per second in many different industries globally, that's ultimately going to drive it to be a very profitable blockchain in regards to its fee model, which is very low. It has some of the best fees in the world. That is a feature, not a bug, but that ultimately means a lot of use has to come to it to drive its revenue. When you're investing in Hedera, you're really investing on the future prospects of it. And those prospects are being very clearly illustrated in regards to some of the largest institutions in the world ultimately now exploring proof of concepts and using Hedera to facilitate their digital transformation. And everybody, just like today, you need to be on the internet to be relevant, is going to have to innovate with this technology. It's simply upgrading. It's going from the letter to the email. When we talk about price, what's going to drive the price at the moment? It's retail buying and selling. There are no institutions, I say no, I'm sure there are a couple, but to no big degree like we're seeing with Bitcoin, even Solana and Ethereum, that are actually buying Hedera and storing it. In the pipelines, we have the likes of Canary Capital. I think it was Valkyrie, perhaps. Was it Valkyrie? Perhaps I'm wrong on that. Looking to file for Hedera ETFs. Institutions will come, but there's a barrier that is put in front of them right now as a result of Gary Gensler's tyrannical regime that has ultimately put a wall in front of the institutions and actually buying or investing directly with capital into these markets. However, they're investing in many other ways, and we see that in regards to the 33 or 32 council members that all are trying to play an active role in the ultimate adoption and utilization of Hedera. So the price right now is ultimately dependent, I should say, on people, me and you, buying Hedera. And right now, if you look at Google Trends and you type in crypto and you look at it over the 5 years, we're pretty much at a cycle low, certainly in the last 5 years, even in relation to post FTX and the sentiment that was there. We're pretty much at a low in regards to retail interest, clearly indicated by Google Trends. And if you look at the Hedera chart and you look at Google Trends, you can see what it is we're getting at here. So we need that retail interest to come back into the space, which we do think is going to happen. And what's going to bring that is ultimately the prospect of getting rich. That's why typically people buy the altcoin market right now. Most people, I would say, from a retail point of view, it's much similar to the gold rush in the United States. People traveled all the way over to the United States to try and get rich through prospecting. And ultimately, the altcoin market is a little bit similar, perhaps, to prospecting in many regards. And you will see retail step back into the market. We do truly, truly believe that. But right now, it's not there. What is going to drive it? Well, we think as we start to see that price appreciation, Hedera Hashgraphs, I've been buying Hbar, and I'm down on my Hbar position right now, guys. I'm going to tell you it's straight. You know, we're not trying to say that we've timed the perfect bottom, but what we have been doing is accumulating throughout what we think is accumulation by smarter money. Retail is never a participant at the bottom of the market. They usually get in at the top of the market, and hopefully they're going to be buying our bags off us at a much accelerated price. But we shall see. The price action right now is just simply explainable by the lack of retail participation. Doesn't mean Hedera is dead. In fact, the opposite is true. And this brings me on to the latter half of the video and what I want to talk about for a few minutes perhaps, and that is Hedera Hashgraph fundamentally. I stumbled upon this project a lot later than perhaps other people did. A couple of years is really when I started to look into this project seriously. And when I did, and I started to understand their vision, how it wants to position itself as the kind of distributed ledger, and it excels in many regards here for institutions. Once I stumbled upon it from that point of view, it really made a lot of sense. And just exploring the governing council, some of the members on there, and some of the use cases that they're trying to facilitate, whether that's Dell, one of the largest companies in the world, whether that's Aberdeen, the largest fund in the UK, also heavily invested in big links to BlackRock, whether that's Ubisoft, whether that's Avery Dennison, whoever that may be, DLA Piper, some of the largest institutions in the world, Google, IBM, are all members of Hedera Hashgraph's governing council. And that's exciting. And just the other week, we had an announcement from the Nairobi Securities Exchange. I think the 4th or 5th fluctuates between the 4th and 5th largest exchange within Africa, certainly the largest exchange within Kenya, which has been, again, Kenya's been sort of termed the Silicon Sahara of Africa, of the continent of Africa. And this is huge. People, I think, because it's Africa, were a little bit, oh, well, why should we care about this? But the fact that you have the 4th largest or 5th largest exchange in Africa ultimately looking to use Hedera Hashgraph to tokenize their exchange is unbelievable. It's not just them. It's Aberdeen, largest asset manager in the UK, is already tokenizing their money market on Hedera Hashgraph. This is just financial. We've explored the partnership with Mondelez and SKUX. If you look at what Karate Combat are doing, that's more of a social thing, perhaps. If you look at what the likes of Bank Social are doing, we interviewed Devu. If you look at what they're doing, you know, there's so many. These are just, what, 4 or 5 use cases of literally at this point, hundreds that will come to fruition eventually. And if you can name me any other blockchain out there, any other distributed ledger that is working on as many proof of concepts, as many use cases for their chain as Hedera, let me know in the comment section and we can certainly, maybe our attention should be on that one more so. In my opinion, there are none. And that's why we continue to back this distributed ledger at a time when it is bleak out there, when the frustration, when the anxiety, when the sort of, I guess, propagated hatred due to largely the price action has never been at a high. We're coming out here and we're saying we are 100% behind this distributed ledger. And we think it has one of the most exciting prospects in regards to transforming tomorrow's world. And we can see that represented throughout the sort of institutions that are already actively looking to use and utilize Hedera. It is undeniable, ladies and gentlemen, and that value is going to take time to realize. Just like Amazon post the .com crash took, what was it, 7 or 8 years to actually erase the prior high of the .com crash, where you were, obviously the .com bubble, not the crash. It took a long time for Amazon to essentially embed itself in the world today. And now it's there, guys. Hedera's on a similar journey. We truly do believe that now is not the time. You don't want to be interested in something when everybody else is, because at that point, it's probably too late and the price has already appreciated massively. You want to be interested in something when nobody else cares about it, when people are frustrated, when people are angry, when people don't want to hold, when it looks bleak out there. That's often the best time to step in and realize an opportunity. And this is not financial advice. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't benefit me, in fact, in any way, shape, or form, whether people buy Hedera Hashgraph's HBAR token or not. It's just something I'm personally doing, and we've shared some of those reasons in regards to why. So to recap, price right now is ultimately driven by retail. Retail largely is not in the cryptocurrency space right now. There's record low interest. But when you understand this project fundamentally, it's a very bright future that it has ahead of it. And we just wanted to share this information with you with a nice view. And that is it from me, guys. That is your Lord Commander of the HBAR Army checking out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next one.